The following program is rated TVMA. Viewer discretion is advised.
Somebody gotta say this shit, so piss a bitch. Fuck your government. I'm hesitant to holler out that I'm in. I represent hollow points and Mac tears. So don't think them shots coming out of them. Last thing that you see is Nat Turner's grin. I'm a savage, not your average white boy, my friend. We ain't shooting. Fuck red, white, and blue. Earth they nerve like militias in the booth. Spit that word like the wisdom in the tooth. Get that herb like I need a blunt or two. Fuck y'all all, each and every one of you. You niggas wanna face me? Fuck you motherfuckers too. All you niggas ain't loyal. Fuck the government soil. Bring heat to the planet to this motherfucker boil. There's no more talk. Through the grave y'all walk. I talk for the slave from the grave. It's war.
Day 37. You thought I was gonna lose the track? No. That's what I'm here for. SGSTS. Folks, as you know, we are still dealing with the bullshit that's going on over there in Ukraine. The bullshit that I begrudgingly call World War III. It is World War III, though, folks. You got to understand. This is, and, oh, don't I have proof that this is World War III? See, understand, folks. I love being able to do this because it will mark my efforts in trying to let people know what's going on internationally and how it will affect all of us at our front door. See, when any of my children ask me, "Hey, yo, Pops, what were you doing when World War III popped off?" I'll be able to look my babies in the face and say, I was warning them before it ever happened. Yeah. And the thing is, the warning is over. The warnings are done. Is prepare time. Prepare as fast as you fucking can. Get as much water, get as much food in storage as possible. Because once it runs out, it's going to be a mess. I am. Oh yes. Oh yes. I am Eric the Nerve, aka Mr. Somebody. Everybody, somebody got to say this shit. Look, this was supposed to be a face-to-face Friday, and I was gonna do a riveting fucking. See, I went live early this morning. As soon as I pulled up into my workplace parking lot, I parked the area that I park in, and at the same time, while I'm driving to work, I listen to the news. I listen to the news, international news. Sometimes I go to South Africa. Sometimes I go to India. Sometimes I go to the Philippines. But I'm listening to international news. Most of the channels that I go to speak some form of English. Got some information this morning that was heavy. As I read further after work today, I see that this was in the plans, this was in the making for about 3 days on Vladimir Putin's part. And oh, I got so much information on it, folks. See, understand when my children look me in the face and ask me, irk the nerve, aka Mr. Somebody. When they did I tell you that you are now watching somebody gotta say this shit? When my children look me in the face and ask me, what were you doing when World War III began? I'm gonna look them in the face and tell them I was one of the few that were warning people. Yeah, I bullshitted here and there as humans tend to do, but when it got serious, somebody got to say this shit. You understand what I'm saying? So the information that I got, oh, oh, I was planning on doing a show about it face to face. Nah, nah. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. Cause usually when I do a face to face Friday, and it's been a while since I've done it. Usually when I do a face to face Friday, I want you to cam up. You're gonna show your face. You're gonna show your face, and you're gonna talk your shit while showing your face the entire time you are on the show. That's how it works. And many people don't like doing that because they're trolls and don't like to show themselves, so they don't show up on face to face Fridays. So that's how that works. But either or. I didn't want to make the show that I planned on doing tonight a face to face Friday because it would entail you actually camming up. Because the subject matter that I have researched and want to share with you, the ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. And we're going to be touching on every topic that we have been touching on since October, November of last year. You understand me? We have been warning people of what's to come, what's here, what is already here. Yeah, it's here. Hyperinflation. We did shows about hyperinflation. You did, and I was telling you that hyperinflation is on its way basically here. I was saying that hyperinflation is here before the mainstream news media was even spitting the shit. You understand me? Ahead of the curve. Yes, yes. The pandemic. The pandemic. Remember, I dropped this little video called The Truth About COVID-19 and What You Didn't Know About Event 201. See, you got to understand, folks. I'm on my shit all the time. I'm on my shit. And that's the reason why, if you give a fuck and you care about yourself and others, you should share my channel. You should share my channel. You should share with your friends and family, especially if vital issues matter to you in any shape, form. If eating, if you like to eat, if you are concerned about eating and how you may or may not get your next meal, if that type of shit is in pandemic talk, pandemic. If how many motherfuckers have told you that yes, the variants are going to keep mutating and eventually it's going to create a mutation within the variants that's going to be strong enough to knock a large swath of population on its ass. Have you seen Beijing? When my children ask me, "Hey, yo, Pops, what were you doing when World War III jumped off?" I'm gonna be able to tell them that I wasn't bullshitting on YouTube when I had the opportunity to tell you what the fuck's going on. You did. See, vital issues and bullshit. And you have to be adult enough. You have to be adult enough in order to have discernment, to know which is which. You did. Again, I am Eric the Nerd. Tomorrow, you are going to want, tomorrow morning, you are going to drink coffee with me. And I am going to break down some shit that you may need to know. Very, very important things that you may need to know because we are in the 37th day of this shit. And today, holy shit just got real, folks. Vladimir Putin, the Russian government, are no longer accepting US currency for their oil. The ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. Pandemic hyperinflation, food shortage, and World War III. You got hello? Like we have been all of those topics, all of the sub. We have been talking about all of those before the action popped off. Son, you understand what I'm saying? We were there with it, with the information, giving you the information. All you gotta do is go watch the past live. All you gotta do, see, you understand why I don't care. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about being the most popular YouTuber. No, popularity will come if deserved. It matters to me to be the more informative and stay dangerous. At the same time, you need to make sure that you stay in tune tomorrow morning, 11:30, the ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. I have so much information for you folks. This is going to be look, even if you don't watch, who gives a fuck? Store water, store non-perishable foods that will last long. You're gonna need them. You're gonna need frivolous spending. Get that shit out of your motherfucking head. The ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. Understand we are dealing with all of this in the middle of a new variant. There is a new variant amongst the many variants. They are now the C. They are now talking about a fourth booster. That's just that's just the booster. They're talking about a fourth shot, a booster shot on top of the initial so-called vaccine, which is not a fucking vaccine if you need four fucking boosters. So we're dealing with all of this on top of multiple variants, a constant mutation going on with this fucking pandemic. And like I said, eventually there's going to be a mutation within the variant that's going to be holy shit 28 days fucking later. Not saying that it will create zombies, but maybe the fucking puking up blood effect. Maybe we'll get some of that. But either way it goes, we have allowed corrupt elitists to create such devices. And this is the fucking result. And we all gonna every understand understand every fucking country. Everyone, have you not heard? Iran 300 300. Now that's just the beginning. They're sending 300 of their elite special forces. Iran, the nation state of Iran, is sending 300 of their elite military forces, soldiers, to help out Russia. Yeah. In fact, they are already on Russian soil as of today, April 1st, 2022, the 37th day of World War III. What will you tell your family members, your daughters, your sons, your uncles, your your nieces, your aunties, your nephews? What will you tell them? What the fuck were you doing when World War III began? I know what I'm gonna say. I have proof of it. Maybe we won't be here, but guess what? Knowing that I know how radio waves work and wavelengths and signals, yeah. But I digress. Look what I'm telling you. If you think this is not a world war, you're out of your fucking mind. You have not been paying attention. You have not. Obviously, you have not been paying attention. How many nation states are involved? Now, on its face, NATO continues. And I will be pointing that out for you tomorrow. NATO continues. Remember, tomorrow, be sure to tune in. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. Understand, people, we are in dire straits. This is like, uh, okay, so war's bad, period. War on this scale is holy shit bad. But what Vladimir Putin did yesterday that went into effect today, uh, yeah, water. You're gonna need water. You're gonna need non-perishable food, bullets. Do you know how to use a sword? Do you know the do you know how to use a blade? There's going to be a time where you're gonna have to defend yourself. Yeah, especially if your fucking money becomes completely worthless. if your money becomes completely worthless. Like, okay, so hyperinflation. We're already there, baby. We're there. How many times do I got to point this out to you? Have you seen food costs lately? Have you seen food costs? See, this is hyperinflation on top of food shortage caused by chaos within the system of imports exports. Do you understand what the fuck's going on? I am Irk the Nerve, aka Mr. Somebody. Everybody's somebody. Somebody got to say this shit. Tell me the fuck that I'm wrong. I'll wait. Tell me I'm wrong. You have food all across the nation. Food shortages. Do you remember in the years of the Obama, in the years of the Obama, the attack on the farm, the attack? I remember because I actually grew a garden, vegetable garden, even with my then baby mama ex girlfriend now, but baby mama, still baby mama. You know, me and her put to during the Obama years, we put together a front yard vegetable garden, and we did that purposely out of spite, just for shits and giggles to spite the Obama years. And now look at us. We can't grow food. You remember he passed laws about catching rainwater. He passed laws against. Do you? Am I the only one to remember? I guess I am. I guess I'm the only one to pay attention to shit like this. But that's why you need to watch tomorrow. Get a good cup of coffee. Get you a good cup of coffee. Roll you up a branch. I'm doing a little something over here. Roll you up a little branch. Get your coffee going. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. The ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. Uh, it's not good, folks. It's not good. Not. Not. Eh, Do you understand? Cancel fucking Christmas. I'm telling you now, there is no celebration. I am warning you. There's a fucking child story about some animal preparing for winter while the other animals fucking played around. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm that old. But anyway, prepare. Get yourself ready. Get ev- Prepare yourself because the food is going to run out in your grocery stores. The warehouses, the warehouses are running out of food. Yes. You don't believe me, do you? You don't. The warehouses are running out of food. You thought it was plentiful. Well, yes, that plentiful food. It comes from somewhere, don't it? Imports and exports. We have a fucking we have a fucking chaotic situation within the imports and exports. We don't make shit here. Especially we export our food. Okay, so Russia and Ukraine together make up 25% of wheat sold all across sold all across. And, do you understand? I'm trying. I'm laughing to keep from crying, folks. You, there's a great chance you're gonna go. You're gonna starve. There's a great chance you're gonna starve. You're gonna starve during the winter, going into next year. Uh, your government is so fucking corrupt. I can't even assume that there will be food lines. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I can't assume that there will be food lines. It may get okay in the high 90th percentile. There's a great fucking chance that it will get that bad. 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 You are having problems paying your fucking cell phone bill. You want to stay online for the bullshit. But if bread, eggs, and milk is going up, the price of eggs, bread, and milk skyrocket. What the fuck does your cell phone bill? What matters to you the most? What's going on in these YouTube streets or feeding your motherfucking family? Feeding yourself. See, I myself I just came up on a great opportunity for a second job, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Especially after the news that I got this morning. Uh, you have to understand, people. You have to understand. The Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve Bank, no relation to the actual federal government of your United States. The Federal Reserve is printing and that was just last week. It was just last. The Federal Reserve is printing so much money backed by nothing. This money is not insured by it. No solid asset is backing up trillions. They just keep printing. They just keep printing. Look, these motherfuckers just keep printing the money. And okay, so they thought that printing the money would somehow they thought just you just long keep printing the money, it would somehow help them stifle, you know what I'm saying, stifle, keep inflation away. But no, motherfucker, you basically just completely threw us in hyperinflation. And now with Russia being bombing the shit out of the Ukraine for 37 days straight. imports, imports, exports. Fuck. What Vladimir Putin did to one with the stroke of a pen, with the stroke of a pen, what Vladimir Putin did to the world's economies. Yeah. To the world economy, like with the stroke of a pen, like today, no more Russian oil bought with American money. China, China and India are already on board with this shit. You understand me? Don't let see. We got sanctions on Venezuela. We're talking. We have sanctions on Venezuela. My phone. We have sanctions on Venezuela. We are talking about lifting sanctions off of one nation state in order to hold sanctions on another nation, even more powerful nation state. And the fact that the sanctions is hurting everyone, everyone. No one. Hello, the sanctions are not helping the situation, making it worse. Better not stop 37 days in. Haven't stopped bombing. What you see on the screen right now is every fucking nation state flag. Fuck your government. Every nation state flag on the planet is flashing before your eyes right now. And every single one of them will be affected by this shit. 37 days in. Do you understand? We may be looking at the very beginning of the end of what is known as the petrodollar. If you don't know that the piece of paper that you hold dear, you may the piece of paper that people will kill and have killed and have died for, the paper that you call currency, the paper that you call money, uh, that's a petrodollar. That's known as a petrodollar. Why? Because that dollar is propped up. Used to be propped up. Let's say used to be. Let's say that it used to be propped up by oil. That dollar used to be propped up by oil, but not so much today. Well, it's still propped. It's still the petrodollar. It's still propped up by oil today, but there's a problem. The gross national debt. See, we don't produce enough oil here. Just our shit. Just our shit. We don't produce enough oil here to do anything to that motherfucking debt. Nor does the exchange rate on our fucking dollar for oil around the fucking world makes a difference. They tell you that we're 30 trillion in debt, but it's more like 160 trillion. Well, if you count unfunded liabilities all around the planet. If you talk about the unfunded liabilities all across the planet, yeah, we don't produce enough. And that's why we're fucked. What are you going to tell your children, your loved ones? What are you going to tell them when they ask you, what were you doing when World War III popped off? I'm signed, still deliver, baby. I've been telling you this shit's gonna jump off. I told you. I've been talking this shit since October. Remember, I told you you need to pay attention. I told you that the variants come. It's the SARS. Is you didn't pay attention. You didn't pay attention at all. None of you did. Like, yeah, you still haven't looked into Event 201. I talked all this shit and you still haven't looked into Event 201 just to see if I was, just for shits and giggles. No, you haven't did that yet? That's okay. It's okay. I told you in a video called in a live stream I did called hyperinflation, which I will point out tomorrow when we do this show tomorrow morning. Please come have coffee with me, because I'm going to break down some shit you might need to know. How many motherfucking packs of water do you got? You're gonna need them. You're gonna need them. Hyperinflation. You understand? Hyperinflation is gonna on everything you buy, on all of your bills. Look at your water bill. Yeah, you looking? You looking at your water bill? You're looking at your water bill right now. Times two. You think I don't know how? You actually think I don't know how inflation works? Are you serious? Are are you serious? Yeah, you act like I don't know how inflation works. Look at your electric bill times two. I did a live stream months. It feels like months ago on hyperinflation. I was ahead of the curve, people. Me and my man Jay Wowski, me and my man Ace Illa, we were talking this shit and warning you what was to come. And it's here now, folks, whether you like it or not. See, we all know the three things that cost people a lot of money. That's inflation, it's taxes, and fucking children. Yes, because children cost. But that's just when shit's running normal. That's when you ain't got the threat of war. That's commonplace. Man, you better pay attention. It's hey, like I said, real quick. I'm here for the bullshit. I dropped the link. The link is in the chat. Uh, yeah, I'm here for the bullshit, but it won't be entertained tonight or tomorrow. Maybe we'll get into it on Monkey Shit Monday. Monkey Shit, I had a great time on Monkey Shit Monday, the last one I did. Maybe we'll get into that later, but right now we're dealing with serious fucking subject matter. So what we're gonna do is what what I've been doing as of late, keeping you informed, keeping you aware. And we're gonna do a breaking news update where I go international in my news, listening and watching, observing, researching. Right now we are in India with this news coverage, and may go to South Africa before we leave. But either way it goes, we're going to be informed. You're going to get this information the same way I get it. Uh, the difference is what we do with it. Correct? So Kirkev, Kirkev is getting this is Kirkev is fucking. Ooh. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. So Russian oil depot uh just exploded. Gets exploded. A Russian oil depot explodes on Russian soil. Hello, the 37th day, and a Russian oil depot explodes near Ukraine's borders. Now, um, the Ukrainian government and its military will not confirm nor deny if that explosion was caused by any weaponry belonging to the Ukrainian military. They will not confirm nor deny, but we do know, as of late, they won't confirm or deny, but we do know that a Russian oil depot near the Ukrainian government exploded a big fucking warehouse of oil that belonged to the Russians on Russian soil, which means that if it were from the Ukrainian military, if that Russian oil depot did explode because of the Ukrainian military's actions, that would mark the first time that the Ukrainians attacked Russian soil. Make note of that, please, and thank you.
And the reasons have not been clear yet. Like we are telling that this happened because of a shelling. The governor said as soon as the reasons are clear, he is going to tell that because of a shelling or something else has happened at that oil depot in the Russian city of Belgorod. Helicopters are there. They are trying to take out the fire. And the pictures are coming in. Eyewitnesses who were there, Nupur, they told that how drastic the blast was there in this oil depot in the Belgorod city. The pictures we can see the intensity of fire. It is very much clear how the situation will be there. 2 people have been injured. They have been taken to the hospital right now. The news which is coming in right now, the updates which are coming in right now, and the governor of the region, the governor of the Belgorod region, he was the person who shared all the details and told that measures are being taken to tackle this blaze. And he also promised to provide more details of how this has actually happened, because of course since the war is on, everybody is thinking that it has happened because of the shelling which has been done from the Ukraine part. But the things are not.
You're pointing out what we understand at this point in time is that the fire began in the early hours of Friday morning near the border with Ukraine. Just to tell our viewers, Belgorod is just about 25 miles from the border of Ukraine. And what we understand is that the depot caught fire in this Russian city overnight. We are going to try and get you more details on that. For the moment, Barka, thank you.
Is that what I was just talking about?
Now, Republic TV, of course, is continuing to bring you reports from across Ukraine. And the latest one that we are getting is from the besieged city of Mariupol, where we have seen destruction of civilian areas at a large scale. Patrick Lancaster brings you this report.
I'm Patrick Lancaster, and right now we are riding into Mariupol in a ambulance with the People's Republic forces.
Okay, the reporter looks scared as fuck.
And we'll have to see how this plays out, but you're here with me.
Okay, yeah. So Who the fuck wants to be a war reporter? Like, you are the most just out of place, nosy motherfucker on the planet. Like, you go into a war zone for reporting. And thank you. And thank you. Some of you motherfuckers is full of shit. But um thank you for those that are not. Um there have been reporters to to lose their lives on the battlefield, on the in the middle of a war, trying to give you breaking coverage and raw coverage from the middle of a fucking war zone. And bullets and flying all around you and shit. They start putting reporters in heavy duty armor and headgear and shit. How much is the check? Like, how much does one get paid to do such duties? Let's talk about that.
Я вообще родом из Западной Украины. Я из Тернопольщины, они меня живут, меня. Свои меня ждут.
So they're trying to move this ambulance with. There's an ambulance with a reporter, two wounded Ukrainians,
Серьезно, они не подпускают
and
тебя,
two
они
drivers.
серьезно стреляют. Я вот вам крест, они стреляют. Это люди так сказали.
Well, one driver, one. Let me say it correctly. Two ambulance workers. One of the ambulance workers you hear right now is going off.
Весь ад прошли, где самый ужас перестрелки, чтобы попасть сюда, чтобы нас спасти. Нам там не оказывают помощь. Никто.
There's a whole lot of pissed off behind that language, or behind what she said. I have no way of translating right now, but from the look on her face and the chaos that's going on inside of the ambulance, and it's not like an Americanized, a Western type ambulance. You can see straight clear through it on all four sides. Might as well be a painter's van. But it's ambulance. It's sad, man.
Мы просили персоналу считать, они этого не дали. Они нам ничего не дали.
And this is going on in Mariupol right now. Mariupol, Ukraine. Mariupol, Kharkiv, Donbass is fucked up. Odessa fucked around.
Ненавидят, потому что мы Донбасс.
Yeah, we'll see.
Они давно нас ненавидят.
Нормально. Все будет хорошо. Скоро будем на больнице. Там ему сейчас окажут помощь. Все, еще чуть-чуть, подожди.
Let's take a look at the pictures released from the port city of Mariupol. Now you can see in this video the pounding and aftermath of Russian shelling. Russian oil depot just 25 miles from the Ukrainian border has exploded, causing huge fumes of thick smoke to rise from the facility. During talks in Istanbul, Russia promised that it would de-escalate operations near Kiev and Chernihiv to increase mutual trust and create conditions for further negotiations.
Shit. Not happening.
But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the West were skeptical. Listen in to what NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg had to say on this matter.
We have heard the recent statements that Russia will scale down military operations around Kiev and in northern Ukraine. But Russia has repeatedly lied about its intentions. So we can only judge Russia on its actions, not on its words. According to our intelligence, Russian units are not withdrawing, but repositioning. Russia is trying to regroup, resupply,
I said that
and
earlier this morning.
reinforce
Remember?
its offensive in the Donbas region.
Yeah.
At the same time, Russia maintains pressure on Kiev and other cities. So we can expect additional offensive actions, bringing even more suffering.
At the same time, he said pressure is being kept up on Kiev and other cities and that they expect additional offensive actions bringing even more suffering.
What we see is that Russia continues to pursue a military outcome of the conflict in Ukraine. It is good that that talks are going on, but so far we have seen no real change in the Russian main objective, and that is to have a military outcome of the conflict, and they continue to pursue a military outcome.
The US says Russia has begun to reposition less than 20% of its troops that had been arrayed around Kiev. The Pentagon says that most moved north, although some crossed into Belarus, where they could be resupplied and sent back into Ukraine.
I think they're going for a major air attack
TV.
in the next few days.
Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time since the Russian invasion into Ukraine. The Italian Prime Minister called for a ceasefire in his phone call with Putin as the war rages on in several cities of war-torn Ukraine. The Italian Prime Minister expressed skepticism for a quick resolution of the conflict in Ukraine after his phone call with Russian President Putin.
Who was like, fuck that shit.
Perché voglio parlare di pace.
Play
Poi
with
ho
me.
chiesto se fosse possibile, no, andiamo per ordine, a questa risposta, a questo punto espresso da me, il Presidente Putin ha sostanzialmente, come uno si può immaginare, ha consentito, certo, parliamo di pace, però ho chiesto quando è previsto, o se è previsto.
Draghi then said he had received assurances from Russia's leader that Europe would not have to pay for natural gas in rubles as demanded.
Vi riferisco le parole del Presidente Putin. I contratti esistenti rimangono in vigore. Le aziende europee, e ha rimarcato più volte
Nigga,
il
you
fatto
a
che questa
liar,
è
nigga.
una concessione, non ho capito bene, comunque un regolamento si applica solo alle aziende europee, solo ai paesi dell'Europa.
Draghi said Putin gave a lengthy explanation of how to both maintain the payment in euros and dollars while satisfying Russia's indication of payments in rubles. The Italian leader indicated that Russia still has a desire for payments in rubles, but that it might handle the currency conversion. Agency report.
Who's a gangster? So, so, so this is what he's doing.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has recently been making efforts to converse
you
with
gotta
aspects of the
buy
Russian
you gonna buy
community
this
that
oil
may
in
help him
rubles
in the
or
war
not?
against
You
the
gonna
Russians.
wow.
He recently held a video address to the Belgian parliament, putting forth a conversation specific to the European Union.
Наші захисники
Because
всього того, щоб не гадати про критерії,
oh
що
wow,
країна буде членом Європи.
Putin's a gangster. Do you know understand what he just the trump card that he just pulled? I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. I'm gonna save it for tomorrow, but you understand what he just did? See, who is it? So yeah, I'm back. That was my what was I saying? Yeah, Putin's a gangster. He just forced their hand because if if he wow, yeah, that's what he's doing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Just an example, so you understand what. See now, you see what it did? Vladimir Putin made it so that you can only buy oil with the ruble. Mm-hmm. In turn, making the ruble do what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, then basically Vladimir Putin can control the exchange rate right here. Hold on, let me show you. Right here. He's a gangster. Okay, so I'm gonna point all that tomorrow. I'm gonna point all that out tomorrow. But see, you understand what I'm saying? You tried to destroy the ruble with sanctions, and this motherfucker doubled back with just the threat. He doubled back with just the threat of only buying oil with the ruble. You understand what I'm saying? See, yeah, it's getting deep, and I'm gonna explain it all tomorrow. Don't trust me. Trust me. I'm gonna explain it all tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we're gonna drink coffee together, and I'm gonna explain this shit to you because it's crazy. We'll keep on with
During
the
talks in
updates.
Istanbul, Russia promised that it would de-escalate operations near Kiev and Chernihiv to increase mutual trust and create
I'm gonna give you at
conditions
least
for further negotiations.
30 more minutes.
But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the West were skeptical. Listen in to what NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg had to say on this matter.
We have heard the recent statements that Russia will scale down military operations around Kiev and in northern Ukraine. But Russia has repeatedly lied about its intentions. So we can only judge Russia on its actions, not on its words. According to our intelligence, Russian units are not withdrawing, but repositioning. Russia is trying to regroup, resupply, and reinforce its offensive in the Donbas region.
All four.
At the same time,
all
Russia
four.
maintains pressure
If you're I'm not religious, don't need it. You can have it.
So we can expect additional offensive actions, bringing
but all four
even
riders
more
are riding.
suffering.
If you're a religious person.
At the same time, he said
Yeah,
pressure is being
it's
kept
fucked
up
up
on
right
Kiev
now.
and other cities,
Pay
and that they
attention.
expect additional offensive actions, bringing even more suffering.
What we see is that Russia continues to pursue a military outcome of the conflict in Ukraine. It is good that talks are going on, but so far we have seen no real change in the Russian main objective, and that is to have a military outcome of the conflict, and they continue to pursue a military outcome.
The US says Russia has begun
Never
to
stop till you
reposition
bust
less
a
than
nut.
20% of its troops that has been arrayed around Kiev. The Pentagon says that most moved north, although some crossed into Belarus, where they could be resupplied and sent back into Ukraine.
Which is dangerous. Now they use
Agency report Republic TV.
using Belarus as a hub. Belarus is a military headquarters now, at least that border.
Hours after Khmelnytsky was hit by Russian missiles, Republic TV spoke exclusively to the mayor. Alexander Smyshin said that Russians made 2 attempts to attack their region. The first attack was spotted by Ukrainian air defense, and the second hit an industrial area. Take a look at the report.
Woo!
In the last 48 hours, what was considered to be a safe haven in Ukraine is now being targeted by the Russians. We have seen multiple attacks taking place in the western city of Lviv. The other place where
we do not ever want to be bombed. You hear me? That's bullshit, dude.
And
human beings are fucked
Joining
up.
us on this broadcast is a very special guest, the mayor of Khmelnytsky. So, Alexander, thank you very much for speaking to Republic Media Network. Let me straight away begin by asking you the first question about the attack that has taken place in your region. What's the assessment? What did really happen? What can you tell us?
Пане мер, хочу запитати вас про атаку, яка нещодавно трапилася на місто. Тобто, яка оцінка була проведена, що вдалося дізнатися, який ваш результат цього?
Власне, починаючи з 24 лютого, це перша ракетна пряма атака на місто Хмельницький.
Well, starting from the February 24, this is the first attack on our city, Khmelnytsky.
Раніше ворог атакував наш регіон, але ракетні обстріли і бомбові удари були 40 кілометрів від Хмельницького.
Before that, the enemy attacked our region, but it was about 40 kilometers from the city. This attack.
В цьому випадку це був прямий ракетний удар по місту.
Now it was a direct hit to the city of Moscow.
Ворог атакував один з промислових об'єктів нашого міста.
It was one of the industrial objects in the city.
За повідомленням наших військових, одну ракету було збито.
As our military says, one missile was destroyed.
Власне, прилетіли тільки уламки від неї.
So only debris fell from that rocket.
Ну, а одна ракета атакувала місто.
But the second rocket successfully hit the target, the city.
Всі наші служби, оперативні служби, чергові служби спрацювали оперативно і швидко і максимально мінімізували можливі наслідки від ракетного обстрілу.
But our people, our utility companies worked very well on this issue, and it resulted in a minimal casualties for the city.
Збитки місту завдані, звичайно, але наразі ми не можемо говорити про їх величину, тому що триває слідство, встановлюється і ті наслідки, які завдала вибухова хвиля.
There was, of course, casualties to their city, but currently is going on an investigation, and we can't disclose this information. So currently we're working on it.
Can I then ask you, Mr. Mayor, regarding why do you think that the western side of Ukraine is now being constantly targeted by the Russians? We have seen what has happened in Lviv, now in Melnytsky. What, in your opinion, could be the possible reason for Russians intensifying their attack on this side?
Атакують захід України. До цього був Львів, тепер Хмельницький. І що ви думаєте з цього приводу? Чому вони так роблять?
Власне, ми бачимо, що для ворога, а ми їх називаємо рашистськими орками, немає різниці між містами, немає якихось критеріїв ні по містах, ні по селах, ні по місцях, куди вони атакують.
Well, you see, we see the enemy, and as we call them, the Russian orcs, they don't care where to shoot. They don't care whether it's a military facilities or it's civilian facilities. They just attack anything.
Вони обстрілюють дитячі садочки, лікарні, школи, обстрілюють промислові
Adrian Richardson's Peacock Collection. Get you a bird.
Багатоповерхові житлові будинки. Ну, вони роблять все, щоб знищити Україну.
They basically setting a genocide of Ukrainians. They are hitting hospitals, kindergartens, schools, residential buildings, everything that can be possibly reached.
Ну, але ми не боїмося, у нас немає страху. Для нас це священна війна. Ми воюємо за своє українське майбутнє, за своїх дітей. Ну, і я впевнений, що ми вистоїмо і переможемо.
But we don't have a fear of this war. This war for us is the holy. This is war of victory. We fight for our families, for our children, for our loved ones, and we will be victorious.
З іншого боку, ми свідомі того, що ворог і далі буде бомбардувати, обстрілювати міста, села, всю Україну, тому що тут немає ніяких, скажімо так, принципів війни, військової честі, немає дотримання ніяких конвенцій.
This is straight air attacks, yo. They just bombing the shit out of them, dude. They're just bombing the shit out of them. It's a straight air attack now.
But of course, we understand that the enemy will
Kharkiv is all around. Mariupol, fall around. It'll take them 20 years to rebuild.
Any traditions of war, any principles. This is unconventional war for the enemy, but we are ready for it and we are prepared.
З іншого боку, нам дуже потрібна допомога, особливо в частині протидії важкій техніці і літакам. Тому ми просимо наших західних партнерів, які розуміють, що ми воюємо за людські цінності, за свободу, за демократію, за людину, такої допомоги якраз от для боротьби проти повітряних сил і проти важкої техніки. Це, що ми зробимо.
But of course, we need support and help from our Western colleagues. This is
Not gonna happen.
weapons,
You get
anti-aircraft
you give
weapons,
me
and anti-tank weapons. Once we receive
we
enough
give
of
you
these
all of that,
goods, we will
and
be ready
they're
to
gonna be
resist this
slow
war, and
bringing
we,
that.
of course, ready to resist this war.
Can I then ask you this question with regards to what is the biggest challenge that you, as someone who's heading the region, is facing at this point in time? Are you
Remember what I
facing a
said?
situation where there
300
isn't enough ammunition
Iranian
for carrying out a counter offensive,
special
especially the air assaults that have been
forces
carried out by the
in
Russians?
Russia helping the
Ви, як
Russians.
мер, у вас є якісь проблеми, з якими ви стикаєтесь при управлінні цього регіону, цього міста? Тобто, чи достатньо у вас, наприклад, там обоїв, амуніції, інших засобів для того, щоб стримувати чи стримати ворога?
Головна проблема це війна. Будь-які міські голови це люди, які до 24 лютого в більшості займалися цивільними справами. Ми будували країну, будували свої міста, будували дитячі садочки, школи, дороги і розвивали свою країну. Війна ці плани, власне, і цю нашу діяльність повністю змінила. Тепер ми переорієнтовані на, скажімо так, воєнний стан. Ми працюємо в режимі бойовому, в режимі воєнного часу і робимо все можливе, аби допомагати українському війську, аби обороняти місто, аби відновити економіку міста, аби допомагати переміщеним особам, ну і аби допомагати тим містам, де ворог зараз влаштовує справжнє пекло.
Well, you see, before the war, every mayor in Ukraine, we were all civilians. We were building infrastructure, we were building roads, building schools, building other residential buildings, and we were not engaged in war. But after 24th of February, every mayor became kind of a military person. We are starting to help.
And that brings me to a thought. Name a fucking current politician, American politician, United States of America. Name one of those politicians that would suit up in military official green. Name a politician that would stand side by side on the battlefield with a long time military soldier. Name a politician that would leave their political post to put on army boots and yield an M16 fighting for their country on the front line. Name an American politician that would willingly do that at the drop of a nation state flag. I'm willing to argue you can't. I'm willing to argue you can't name one American, especially bureaucratic politician that's going to fight and die hell or high water for his or her country. Get the fuck out of here. You're not gonna. Their mayors have become military officials. Vladimir Zelensky, however you feel about him, is still there in his country whilst it is getting bombed. He is fighting back. Well, if I'm sure a lot of the fighting hasn't gotten to him yet, to his location, but he's there willing to die for his country. How many American politicians would willingly, proudly die for their country? fuck out of here with that dumb shit. Okay. But I digress.
В неї свій фронт, і теж сподіваємося, що українська дипломатія свою роботу теж зробить якісно.
But on the other hand, we trust our diplomats, our Ukrainian diplomats. We know that they are doing their best, and the work that they are doing will be successful.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for speaking to Republic Media Network. From everyone of us here, we wish you all the best, and for all the people in Melaniski, so that they can all stay safe.
We have more visuals coming in from Ukraine right now as fighting continues in the besieged city of Mariupol. Take a look at this footage showing a residential building in Mariupol where Ukrainian forces were allegedly positioned, being targeted by shelling. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister has said that a convoy of 45 buses were on its way to Mariupol as the International Committee of Red Cross
Dude, that is hell on earth, man. They're just dropping bombs on a motherfucker like that, dude.
To get the civilians
That is
out, but what they're looking right now is a complete nightmare.
Yes, it's a nightmare. That is fucked around, dude.
Residential buildings that continue to be shelled by the Russian forces. We can see smoke everywhere in Mariupol. Residential areas now being hit, despite the fact that Red Cross maintaining that 45 buses are en route to get the civilians out there. We're looking at a massive crisis unfolding from Mariupol, wherein many people who are still stuck, they want to get out from that area.
Yeah, it's over. It is over over there. It's done. That's a military. What to say?
Holding out in the besieged city of Mariupol as the crisis unfolds.
A lot of
Russian equipment being destroyed by Ukrainian forces. Now, according to the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, Anton Garashenko, the minister there, shared a new video showing widespread devastation. Now, we have seen many such videos being put out by Russia as well as Ukraine. Now, Ukrainian forces destroying Russian military, just the visuals on your screen being put out by the Ukrainian minister. These are visuals of Russian equipment being destroyed by the Ukrainian forces. The advisor to the head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine, Anton Garashenko, sharing this new video showing widespread devastation.
That's on land, though. That's on Ukrainian soil. That's pieces on the battlefield.
Now, the besieged southern port city of Mariupol has come under heavy fire from Russian forces shortly after Moscow launched its invasion of Ukraine. Nearly 5,000 people, of course, have been killed and buildings across the city have been destroyed. Now, we are getting you visuals of the aftermath of airstrikes that have taken place
over
in
5,000 people killed, millions,
perhaps enable Russia to create a land bridge
multi-millions,
between the separatist
refugees are exiled.
of Donbass and Crimea, and that is why we see the Russian forces focus on Mariupol. The visuals of destruction that you see on your screens, of course, are continuing to come in every single day as Russia continues its bombardment of Mariupol. NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has said that Russian forces are not withdrawing but repositioning despite recent statements about scaling down their military operations around Kyiv and in northern Ukraine. Here's more.
Let's listen one more time to this shit. Then I'm going to call it quits, guys.
During talks in Istanbul, Russia promised that it would de-escalate operations near Kiev and Chernihiv to increase mutual trust and create conditions for further negotiations. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the West were skeptical. Listen in to what NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg had to say on this matter.
We have heard the recent statements that Russia will scale down military operations around Kiev and in northern Ukraine. But Russia has repeatedly lied about its intentions. So we can only judge Russia on its actions, not on its words. According to our intelligence, Russian units are not withdrawing, but repositioning. Russia is trying to regroup, resupply, and reinforce its offensive in the Donbas region.
37 days
At the
in,
same
guys.
time,
37
Russia
days in.
maintains pressure on Kiev
You haven't
and other
felt
cities.
the worst of this shit yet.
So we can expect additional
Store
offensive
your water.
actions,
Get your
bringing
non-perishable
even more
foods,
suffering.
you fucking idiots.
At the same
It's gonna
time,
get
he said
worse.
pressure is being kept up on Kiev and other cities, and that they expect additional offensive actions, bringing even more suffering.
What we see is that Russia continues to pursue a military outcome of the conflict in Ukraine. It is good that that talks are going on, but so far we have seen no real change in the Russian main objective, and that is to have a military outcome of the conflict, and they continue to pursue a military outcome.
The US says Russia has begun to reposition less than 20% of its troops that had been arrayed around Kiev. The Pentagon says that most moved north, although some crossed into Belarus, where they could be resupplied and sent back into Ukraine.
Hey.
Agency report, Republic TV.
Well, it is what it is, folks. For tonight, I am done with that. Again, 37 days into World War III. We are still dealing with the pandemic and its many different variants. The newest variant I will be speaking on tomorrow on this show. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Drink your coffee with me and let's discuss this. The ruble versus the petrodollar, the cost of power. Pandemic, hyperinflation, food shortage, World War III. And we are dealing with all of that at once. Yeah, if Pinhead from the Hellraiser series was to create a perfect storm, this would be it. Yeah, it's going to get bad. Food costs, on top of the fact that you don't have much to choose from because you're dealing with a food shortage. On top of, see, right now the job market's fucking white hot right now. It's white hot, but it's going to plateau. And if it plateaus at the wrong time, they're already seeing like dips in the job numbers right now, even while it's red hot, white hot, I say. So pay attention to that shit. I am paying attention to all of it because ultimately it affects us all. So make sure you watch this with me. Huh? You well, watch this. Watch everything that's going on. Here on Somebody Gotta Say This Shit. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Drink your coffee with me. We're gonna talk this shit because shit just got real. Shit hit the fan, and it's gonna be affecting our wallets. It's gonna be affecting your gals' pocketbooks. It's gonna affect your bills, your electric bill, your water bill, your utilities, all that shit. Living, your food costs, all that shit affected, and it's gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, folks. I'm telling you, this is World War III. There's no escaping it. We're here now, and Yeah, who else better to tell you but me? I am Irk the Nerve, aka Mr. Somebody. Everybody, somebody gotta say this shit. Oh, again, what will you tell your kids? What will you tell your children when they ask you, where the fuck were you and what were you doing when World War III began?
Somebody gotta say this shit, so piss a bitch. Fuck your government. I'm hesitant to holler out that I'm in. I represent hollow points and Mac tears. But don't think them shots coming out of them. Last thing that you see is Nat Turner's grin. I'm a savage, not your average white boy, my friend. We ain't shooting. Fuck red, white, and blue. Earth they nerve like malicious in the booth. Spit that word like the wisdom in the tooth. Get that herb like I need a blunt or two. Fuck y'all all, each and every one of you. You niggas wanna stay asleep? Fuck you motherfuckers too. All you niggas ain't loyal. Fuck the government soil. Bring heat to the planet, to this motherfucker boil. There's no more talk.